Hello everyone, and welcome to another Feed Army video. In this video, we will be talking about the requirements for apparel products. Like normal products, standard products, there are a couple that you require, which is from ID up to G10. So you need your ID, the title, a description, image, a Google category link, condition, availability, price, brand. Now, what I want to cover is that the brand is required if you have a global trade identification number. Now, with a clothing material, you can choose between either supplying a MPN, so a manufacturer product number, or a GTIN, so this can be an EAN or a UPC. You only need one of the two. But recently, as of 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, certain brands are required to have a global trade identification number. So even if you don't have them, you have to contact your manufacturer to get those numbers, because now it is required for example, now this is not a clothing brand, but for example, for Sony, you do need to have that identification. If you do not have a brand that is in the required list, then you can supply a identification number. But if you don't have one, you can add a little attribute that says identifier false, which notifies Google that the product does not have a identifier. Then the brand and the GTIN or MPN are not required. So don't fill them in, just supply identifier false. Then now we will focus on what is required for apparel products in the standard products. So when I talk about standard, that means that you're just supplying one clothing. So for example, this one in green, medium size, that's it, nothing else. When you supply the color, you can have 3 accents separated by comma, which means, for example, if I have a green t-shirt and there's an accent on the shoulders or at the back that is blue or black, then you can say green, comma, black, or another color. But the first color needs to be the main color of your product. So if your main accent is green, then you have to put that as the first attribute in your comma delimited field. So if, for example, you add blue as the first one, then theoretically that will be a wrong representation of your product. Gender is also required, so you can have male, female, or unisex. These are the 3 different types. The age group as well, so that ranges from adult, kids, and some other attributes that I forgot about now. But the age group is very important. So these 3 are required in your standard products. If you have a variant, which means that, for example, this material, so there's a little smiley face there, which is just one type of set. If you have that in blue and green and yellow and all sorts of different colors, then you have variants. So you cannot submit that as a standard product because Google considers these products as being very similar. So if they are very similar, you have to submit them as a variant and add a group ID. This group ID can be anything. So you just say, for example, ABC with a number 01. Then for your next product, you just say the same thing, ABC01, if it is a variant. If it's a completely different product, let's say this one with not a smiley face, but just a thumbs up, then it's 02. So it's the next product, a different product variant. So these are the requirements of your fields that you have to enter. The optional fields is the material, the pattern, the size, size type, and size system. If you choose the size, it is only required optionally for clothing and shoes. So if you have, for example, a watch or a hat, then these are not, not a hat, a watch, which is also an apparel product, then the size is not an optional requirement. So what is very important is that if you have a similar size in one type of clothing, so let's say my t-shirt, and then you cannot say, for example, Roxy, I've given here an example, Roxy Flower t-shirt, you can't say, for example, the next one, Adidas flower t-shirt if it is in the same variant, because Google wants you to show the customers that the variant is the exact same product, just in a different size or color or material or whichever. So these are required to have the similar title in every single variant. That is actually pretty much the requirements for clothing apparel products. If you have any queries, please leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer every single one of them. And thank you very much for watching this video, and see you next time.